everyone. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I've actually already done the live, but I don't think it worked. So, welcome to transforming limiting beliefs into empowering ones. And today's presentation is going to be mind-blowing because it's going to give you the tools to be able to change things in your life and create change when you decide that you want change in your life. So, limiting beliefs are our past beliefs. They're things that have happened in our life that have created us to believe that that's how we're going to act. It's how we're going to, uh, it's the stories that we tell. So often, when you hear yourself telling a story, for example, you're scared of heights. That's by telling that story over and over and again, all you're doing is affirming to you and who you're telling that that's a limiting belief of yours. Now, when you become aware of these limiting beliefs, that's when you can change a belief to anything that serves you instead of it's not serving you. So, limiting beliefs, as I said, they're stories, they're habits, and their attitudes. And they can all be changed to create the desire you want and the outcome that you want. So, I want to tell you a story before we start. And this is just to give you an indication on a belief that somebody has had. And so this is a true story. This is one of my stories. It went back to 2014. I was on a contract that went for about 8 months in my arborist business. There was about 8 other contractors on the contract at the same time. And so what we were doing is we were going around and quoting a whole heap of work, and then they'd allocate that to one of the contractors to get all of this bulk work done. We all had to go through the process of providing insurances, safe work method statements, all the paperwork that they required for us to be on the contract. So I had all that paperwork and I knew that I had all that information that they needed. So I was very quickly put onto the contract as one of the 8. About halfway through the actual contract, there was about 40 of us sitting in a boardroom. And halfway through this meeting, one of the other ladies, so there was myself and another lady that was on the contract. We actually she actually got up and she pointed to me and she said, she shouldn't be on the contract. And I didn't say anything. I sat there and I thought, this is interesting. We've never really got on. I've always stuck to my lane and done my own thing within my business. Had a lot of people over the years telling me I couldn't do it. Why am I here? I'm embarrassing myself. But I knew that I had the goods. I was actually coming up with, we were quoting on 100 trees at a time, and I was coming up with prices within $100 of them. So they were a bit blown away, but they were also then a bit intimidated, thinking, how can she do what she's doing? And it came down to that this woman didn't not like the fact that I didn't have an arborist certificate. I wasn't qualified. But for this contract, no one needed to be. They already had qualified arborists come in and do the reports. All we had to do was just quote the trees from the report and then do the work if we got allocated that job. But the thing was, she had a belief. She had this belief that I didn't deserve to be there because I wasn't an AQF5 arborist. I was just a pen pusher, if you want to call it that. So this limiting belief ended up not serving her in the end. I stood my ground and I knew who I was. I was very capable of being there. People came up to me saying, we're just going to give you more and more work. But at the end of the contract, just a couple of months or a couple of weeks before it finished, they actually got kicked off the contract. And I thought that's very interesting. At the end of the contract, I got asked to stay on. So limiting beliefs do not serve you, and then being verbal about them in a group of 40 people. Like when you're that loud, you're going to be looked at, and scrutinized by a lot of different people. So that's just a story that happened to me. It's a story that actually serves me because it shows how I empowered myself through that and how I can empower other people. Your beliefs can change at any tick of the clock, and it's just up to you whether you want to change them or not. So now that I've told you that story, there's actually something that I want to do, and I want to show you something. And before I show you what it is, I just want to do a little exercise with you. It'll take a minute. So if you close your eyes, can you tell me what color your fridge is? Now, you don't need to scream it out, but what I need you to do is now tell me your front door. Does the handle stay on the left and open to the right, or is the handle on the right and opens to the left? Now, the reason why I'm asking you this is in your mind, did you go to your fridge? Did you go, hi, Nicey? Did you go to your fridge? Did you look at the front of the fridge and go, it's whatever color it is? Did you then go to your front door and look at the handle and go, oh, it's on the left and it must open to the right, or was on the left and it opens to the left? So we think with images. So in your mind, you would have gone to your front door, you would have gone to your kitchen. And why we think with images is because pictures are what creates thoughts, and our thoughts are then generated into our actions. So we think with images, and I'm going to show you an image in a minute that was created back in 1934 by a chiropractic healer, by Dr. Thurman Fleet. He created this image to give all his patients something to go away with that they could then use to heal themselves, both physically and emotionally. And that image is the stick person. Now, the stick person is, as I said, it was created so that there was an image for you to have in your mind. And what this image is it has a large circle at the top with a line through the middle. It has a small circle at the bottom. Now, the large circle at the top represents your conscious and your subconscious mind. And the small circle at the bottom represents your body. These little 5 antennae at the top, they actually are your 5 senses: see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. So this image, as I said, was created so that Dr. Thurman Fleet's patients could go away and work on this to create things in their life to heal themselves, have thoughts and what have you. So at the top here, as I said, we've got the large circle with a line through it. We've got our conscious mind at the top. Our conscious mind is where we have all our thoughts. Our thoughts can be anything. We have about 80,000 thoughts a day. So when you think about your thoughts, think about, are you having thoughts that serve you? Are they positive thoughts, or are they mainly negative? Now, if you're not consciously aware of your thoughts, most of the time they're actually quite negative. So maybe that's an exercise you can go away with and just listen to the thoughts that you're having. Be aware of the thoughts you're having. When you become aware of the thoughts that you are having, you will identify some limiting beliefs. They will become aware to you. And when you identify a limiting belief, it's here that you're having that continual thought based on see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. So they're all the outside circumstances that are influencing the thoughts that you're having up until today. When you become aware of that, you'll understand and you'll recognize why most people say, or a lot of people say, happiness starts from the inside. It's because when you go inward and you start listening to your thoughts, you can change those thoughts, and you change them in your thinking mind, which is your conscious mind. Your conscious mind has the ability to accept or reject any thought you have. It has the ability to choose any thought you have. So if you're being aware that you're having a negative thought, imagine yourself driving along and you're just, off in fairyland, and then all of a sudden something brings you back and you realize that you're having a really negative thought about something that your partner said, or something that's happening at work, or the kids haven't done this, or you don't have enough money. Whatever it is, it's these thoughts that you have up here. You have them long enough, they're going to create a limiting belief. So up here, as I said, your thinking mind, your conscious mind, you can choose any thought you have. You can have a negative thought, you can have a positive thought. But over the times of you having these thoughts, that's where it's actually then impressed upon your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is where your limiting beliefs are, your paradigms, the stories that you tell. One thing about your subconscious mind is it does not have the ability to accept or reject any thought you have. It only has the ability to accept what you tell it. The beauty is, though, it doesn't know what is imagined or what is real. So you have a limiting belief of, I don't have enough time, I can't afford that. You can change that thought right up here in your conscious mind. And over time and through repetition of changing that thought from I'm not enough to I am enough, or I don't have enough time to I am very clever with my time. I don't have enough money for that to I am creating all the money and wealth that I desire. When you start changing those thoughts up here, the repetition and the time impresses upon your subconscious mind that new thought. And as I said, your subconscious mind does not have the ability to understand what is real and what is imagined. So you can tell it anything you like. When you start telling your subconscious mind, which is where you have all your emotions, where you feel, you start feeling like you have the money. You start feeling like you are good enough. You start feeling like you've got all the time in the world. Your results or your actions in your body are going to change dramatically, and your results are going to change as well. So as I said, this is a very powerful little tool. Once you understand it and put it into play into your life, you can change any limiting belief to an empowered one any time you like. And you start doing that, and you're going to create a life for yourself that is achieving anything you set yourself to achieve. You're going to look 12 months down the track, and you're going to look through a telescope and go, oh my goodness, who the hell was I back then? And it all is, instead of, being reactive to your five senses, go inwards. Think about how you're feeling. Think about what you're thinking about. Just be quiet and understand what you're doing, and be aware of what you're thinking. If it doesn't serve you, change the thought. You can change the thought anytime, when you're driving, when you're sleeping. Anytime you can think of a thought that you're having that does not serve you, you can change it to what does serve you. And as I said, this is where you think. This is where you feel in your subconscious mind. How you feel is going to create the action that you take in your body. The action that you take is going to be what you create within your life. So, as I said, this is just a little figure that you can have as an image in your mind to start changing those limiting beliefs and start changing them to ones that actually serve you. Change those stories about yourself. I've had a story my whole life that I'm scared of heights. I can change it. I can change it to not being scared of heights by just just saying to myself over and over again, I'm not scared of heights. So how to change that limiting belief is through your thoughts. There are other ways of doing it as well. But just today, we're going to talk about your thoughts. So just for the next few days, just really listen to how you're thinking. Close all the outside circumstances off and just listen to what's going on inside, and actually see what thoughts you're having. Do they serve you? Are they negative? Are they thoughts that you really want? And when you have one that doesn't serve you, one that you don't want, change it to the polar opposite and say, yes, I can afford that. I have got time today. I am enough. I am knowledgeable. I am amazing. And then you get into the habit of saying those things repetitively every day, and you're going to start creating some changes in your life that are going to blow you away. All right, have a great day, and we will talk soon. And hopefully I've worked out this streaming into live, and these videos will stay in my feed from now on. All right, have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.